Okay, and they can definitely hear us, and I can announce that, in fact, we are now live! And hello everyone. Welcome to the Geek Battle Show here on the Extreme Improv Extremed YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Battle YouTube channel, which is at www.youtube.com/@geekbattle. And as if it's some kind of miracle, we're on both channels, and Capelthave is here at the same time, which just like it never happens. Wow. So on tonight's show, we're going to play some geeky games. We're going to have some geeky discussion, and we're gonna cover things like Ant-Man. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the world of superhero films and other geek shows and all these other kind of stuff. And on the show tonight, hopefully with a geek fact for us, is Capelthave. Say hello to the people.
Hey, Geektonians, from the land of leopards, elephants, and crocodiles. And my geek fact is, the Laura X, I don't know the number, from the girl from Logan, the daughter of Wolverine, she actually first made her appearance on the show X-Men Evolution, not the comics. Then afterward, it was such a success, they actually adapted it to, the comics. But Wolverine also has another son called James Hudson. He basically has the same powers as Wolverine, but he doesn't have the feet claws like Laura. But he has another power where he doesn't have adamantium skeleton, but he can cover himself in metal like Colossus does. And, that's pretty much it. I wish he could show up in the movies like Laura did.
Okay, I'd definitely give a bonus point there. Bonus point to anyone else if they can say that character's name from Logan. X what? What is that? It's like a number, isn't it?
23, I think.
Is it 23? I was thinking 13. Let's do our first fact check of the night. So, Logan movie. Let's find out once and for all. And just before X23. Oh, Capelthave, you get your own bonus point. Right, so also on the show tonight, we have Jana. Say hello to the people and give us a random geek fact if you have one.
Hi. I forgot about the geek fact, and then I remembered when Cap said his Harley Quinn originated in Batman the Original Series, not the comics. 1994.
Yes. I love it. Definite bonus point there. Now, we followed this theme. Tim, you've got to tell us some character that didn't originate in the comics as well. I'm joking. Whatever fact you've got is great.
My nerd fact, I was watching some YouTube videos on plasma weapons and how it's a phase that's different than, I don't know if it's a phase, but it's different than solids, liquids, or gases in that it carries more energy, so it's more spread apart than gases. So I think as a directed energy weapon, what it does is it causes a lot of burns and stuff. But it also, if it hits something with water, it'll expand the water into a vapor and cause a red mist, so a cloud of blood. So very, very interesting how plasma weapons are used. However, I theorize if you could have, with plasma weapons, you have to use you have to use magnetics to guide the plasma to its target. So you have to direct it in a straight line or figure out how to use magnetics to contain the plasma in its medium while it's still, traveling. I wonder if you could create a computer chip or a guided sort of material using the plasma as a torpedo so it can track and trace like a missile. I'm just curious if that's possible.
That is interesting. Some fascinating stuff there, Tim. I'm going to give you a point, but also I'm going to give you guys a fact, which I don't normally do. I normally just skip out on it. But on the theme of the first two facts, I can say that the character Chloe, who was in Smallville, debuted on that show and then was later added to the comics. So there we go. Now, I don't know if she's still in the comics, though, just because the actress she was based on kind of got involved in a cult or something. It was a really wild story. But anyway, moving on from that. We're gonna play some games. We're gonna do some geeky chat stuff. But first of all, before we give spoilers in the room, let's be clear. Who has seen Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? Show of hands.
I can tell you, Ant-Man appears in the movie.
Spoilers, Cap. Spoilers. Okay, so we won't give spoilers for the film. Audience, if you're desperate to see my thoughts on it, I did for the first time do like a long form review breaking down all my thoughts on the Geek Battle channel yesterday, so check that out. But Jana, without giving massive spoilers away, we can talk about things that's on the trailer perhaps. What were your thoughts on it?
It's fine.
Just fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was fun.
Colorful.
Yeah.
I had to go to the 3D one because I went to like the pre-showing and there was no regular one. It was entertaining.
Okay, you can be more spoilery than that if you want. But what I was going to say is that, like, I ended up seeing a non-3D one, and I wasn't even given a choice. I had to see it in 2D, like the old days. It was terrible. But I thought the film was mostly good. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. There is like any time you watch a superhero film, you're gonna like the uber fan is going to like nitpick over certain things, and I certainly found things I could nitpick over.
It's kind of silly, but that's the franchise. Like anybody who's mad about Ant-Man being kind of silly is like, I don't know.
I don't mind it being kind of silly, but okay. Tim,
I'm still upset Thor being silly.
Okay, well, no, I didn't think Ant-Man was. I thought Thor was silly. I'll agree there. I didn't think Ant-Man was silly.
I feel like it was the least silliest of the Ant-Man.
I agree. So I don't know. Tim, you were going to say?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Jonathan Majors as an actor, and especially a bad guy? Because I was reading up that when they cast him for Kang, he just seemed to have this presence, I guess, as an actor. And when I saw him in the trailer for Creed #3, I was like, wow, like I didn't see. What are your thoughts on him as Kang?
I geek out on him. It's like
okay.
For Geek Battle, but he like carries himself differently for every like it's a bunch of like really cool actor stuff that he does for every kind of interpretation of him. So
yeah,
it's cool.
I thought he was really good. I thought. Again, without giving spoilers, there are some thoughts I had on his character, but what isn't a spoiler is that he was already a variant of this character in Loki.
Yeah,
and I only watched that once, but it's definitely true that he didn't play it as the same character. He was a different version of this being, but he wasn't the same character. I thought he was overall very good. Without giving any spoilers away, for his character to be essentially the next Thanos, the first big bad in the MCU we had was Loki. The next one we had obviously was Thanos, and now we have Kang the Conqueror. I will be very interested to see what they do next, and I can't elaborate on why I say that, but you can see it on my other video without giving spoilers. But I thought he was very good. Overall, I thought he was definitely very good. And one of the things which, again, isn't a spoiler, I think it was the director or the writer, said this about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania that I read 2 or 3 weeks ago, that the general premise of the idea was that this was an Avengers movie, but only Ant-Man turns up to fight. There's no other Avenger. Well, obviously there's the Wasp and other characters from the Ant-Man franchise, but none of the other Avengers are there in the fight because it is an Ant-Man film, basically. And that's a good way of describing what this is. Again, I'm only going to say a couple of things on it myself that aren't spoilers, but it's just because I need to get these off my chest. Okay, so I'll be able to vent here. The first thing which I didn't particularly like was that, as you can tell from the trailer, this is set in the quantum realm. The thing which I always found most fun about Ant-Man is it was basically Marvel does Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So you see like little Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly running around like remote controls and other objects, and they're tiny compared to big things. But because they're in the quantum realm, it means that it kind of has more of the look of a Guardians of the Galaxy film, and so everything seems in proportion. And I was like, oh, by doing this, you've taken away the shrinking and being small against big objects thing, which I think is probably the most fun thing about Ant-Man's powers. And so that was a shame that being set in the quantum realm, that it was just somewhere else. The other thing I was going to say, and again, this is on the trailer, if you know how they end up in the quantum realm, it's because... Oh, what's the daughter called? Anyone? Cassie? Cassie? It's Cassie.
Cassie.
It is Cassie. So on the trailer, you'll see like Michelle Pfeiffer's there, and what's his name? Michael Douglas is there, and then there's Cassie, and she's like, "Hey, I've invented this thing that's gonna go wrong, and we're gonna get sucked into the quantum realm." I'm like, "How did you invent this thing?" Like, you know, you've got Hank Pym stood there, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and they were like the scientists that created all this stuff, and then like the daughter of Ant-Man, who's an idiot, somehow has invented this thing that sucks them into the quantum. No, but the whole point is he's a thief. He, like, you know, he is like, he's an idiot, right? He isn't like meant to be the intelligent one, because his whole plan of, oh look, we can do the Back to the Future thing, you know, he had no plan for the time travel.
Well, he did figure out that the door was made in Titanic, and ice is not a good... I mean, that's why Hank Pym hired him. Because
yeah, exactly, you know. But so those were my couple of like gripes about it, is that they needed a reason to end up in the quantum realm, and they made suddenly from, like in the first film, Cassie is like a 6-year-old, and she's got like a Thomas the Tank Engine set, but now all of a sudden she can do like quantum physics and stuff, and I was like, they've changed the character on me there. It's a minor gripe,
like,
but it's a gripe.
A lot of geniuses currently are popping up. I think, like, even in Ironheart as well. I think
true.
It's easy to play the genius character, but the thing is that you'll end up with too many geniuses. And again, the genius is an excuse, right? When we like write ourselves into a scientific situation that we can't get out of. Oh, look at the smart person. She has something, a bright idea. That's like, you're not going to understand it, but she does.
Well, no, but they've always had geniuses, because Tony Stark's a genius, Bruce Banner's a genius, Peter Parker is a genius. So like you have geniuses, but then when you get then look, Peter Parker, he is a teenager as well, so fair enough. But when it's like, you know, you get Cassie, and I don't mean to like put her into a little box and say her life circumstances, but like her dad was in jail, right? Her like family was blipped away, and somehow in this time, with all of these hardships, she suddenly became a genius. It's like, you know, it doesn't make sense. So, you know.
Yeah, but
it's like she's got the influence of the Pyms and stuff.
No, but the Pyms were all blipped away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, if they were like, oh, I studied with Hank Pym for 5 years, but he was blipped too.
Maybe after they blipped away, she went back to the Pym's house and like tried to study all the quantum things so she can find a way to bring her parents and everybody back. That's how she became a genius.
If I spent the rest of my life reading the manual of the toaster I've got, I still wouldn't be able to build one. Right, but anyway, I digress. It was a good film. We can move on from stuff that we haven't seen, give spoilers. Won't give spoilers. Tim?
Well, without taking away from what Jana, is that how I pronounce it? Jana, yeah, sorry. Without taking away what Jana might be saying after, is maybe it's the Tony Stark parents abandonment thing. You know, dad left or dad disappeared, so he devoted herself to work and learning, and you know.
Yeah, do you know? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that can make sense. Now there is one more thing.
On the topic of geniuses, though, I like kind of.
Jana raised her hand, so. Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking of whereas the Cap can go.
No, I was saying with the genius character, I liked it the way they did with Batman. So Batman is technically a genius who can probably invent stuff and build stuff, but they brought in Lucius Fox because that kind of made sense, because he would be the guy who would probably be inventing the same things and also doing the fighting, and he's probably doing too much. And they kind of made Batman oh, okay, he's smart. He could probably figure things out pretty easily, technical-wise, chemistry-wise, or any-wise, but he's probably not the expert in it, so he has other people that can try to do those stuff, but technically smart enough to understand all of those stuff so he can work and also, you know, do the smart things as well. So I kind of like that. And
they're building for the Young Avengers or whatever, so there's 2 geniuses in there so far, right? So they need
who are the 2 geniuses? Ironheart and And
Shuri?
oh, Shuri's already a genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she counts as a young Avenger.
No, I feel like
she's like an Avenger.
Like has graduated to the.
Yeah, like the young Avengers. You've got Kid Loki, I guess. You've got
the alligator.
The alligator, yeah. You've got the children of Wanda. I forget their names, like Wiccan and Speed or something like that. They're called.
But are they in a different universe?
I don't know.
It's gonna sort itself out. Just say multiverse.
Yeah, look, Kang is going to bring everyone together. That's what Kang does. He brings people together. But yeah, and then you've got young Hawkeye. You've got Ms. Marvel. You've got Hulk's son, whatever that thing was. You know.
Oh no!
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Hulk's son, one thing I definitely want to go on to before we move off of Ant-Man, because I think we've looked at this before, and once again, this is something that's on the trailer. But I think we just need to take another moment where we can absolutely appreciate and discuss the glory that was MODOK. Now, I wish I could zoom in on it. It won't let me zoom in more. Now, Jana, without giving spoilers about the story, what were your thoughts on MODOK in the film?
I regretted not watching the cartoon, and now I want to go watch that cartoon. It was a really fun plot device.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
Now, okay, so the thing is, like, as bad as the graphics look, and honestly, I don't.
But I think they're supposed to. Like, they're supposed to make you uncomfortable. I think they nailed it.
They do make me uncomfortable, Jana. I can agree with that. It's like we've suddenly gone back, and suddenly the Scorpion King is looking good, right? But
I feel like that's by design.
Well, yeah, maybe. The thing about the actual character, though, I actually really enjoyed what the character was and what happened. And again, I can't give spoilers, but some of my favourite parts of the film revolved around MODOK. I just thought, like, without Cap, just go like this 1 second. Don't listen. Okay, so the way the character ended and like the last few lines you see of the character, I just thought was so funny because they were like. They made no sense, but they were so good because of that.
Yeah, those were the fun moments, and like getting somebody called out like that. That's not a spoiler. I don't know.
Oh, what about being a thing?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, that's fun as well. But I mean, like, so when he's there and he's speaking to Ant-Man, and he's like. You know, I can't say it without. It's too good.
No, I'm getting exactly. It was a lovely journey, and that could be a short film in itself.
Yeah.
Of MODOK.
Absolutely. Okay. No. So, moving on, I guess from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm sure it'll come back up as if we think of. So the next stop in the Marvel Cinematic Universe we have is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I would say I'm pretty much excited for that because I like that trailer more than Ant-Man and the Wasp, technically. So, which I thought I wouldn't because I kind of enjoyed Ant-Man more than the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, even though I know they're good. But for some reason, from looking at the trailer, seeing young Rocket Raccoon is like, you hit me. I'm gonna have to love this film. I don't know. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
Okay, but has anyone seen anything this week that they want to react to, or anything like that?
I just think everyone should be watching The Last of Us right now. It's devastating.
Do you know, I'm in such a difficult. I think I said this last week. I'm in a situation where I can no longer watch new episodes. I have to find, like, I've lost the ability. Yeah, I desperately do want to. I've seen about the first 4 episodes, but I need to I can pay for it, so I'll see them again. But I don't want to have to. Like, I'm not sure how many episodes this season is going to be, so I'm going to wait until I only have to pay for 1 month, and then I can watch them all. But yeah, The Last of Us. So far, so good for The Last of Us.
The Last of Us is kind of weird for me because it's the only story video game that I haven't played. So everyone, like, because I play like The Witcher and all that, everyone says like, okay, the next best thing you can play is The Last of Us because it has the greatest story, so you'll love it. For some reason, I never played it, so I kind of okay, I'm not gonna play it anymore. And the series comes out, and it says like it's probably the best video video game adaptation, I'm now kicking myself. Why didn't I play that thing?
You still can though.
Yeah, because the way they're adapting it, it's not shot for shot every moment because the things you want to like.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the video games people are saying like it's one of the most generous or like the most faithful for them, I think. But I haven't played the game, so I can't really.
Watching the show, I realized like how little I got into the game. I got like trapped in a room with the floater and just like threw my controller and stuff like.
Wow.
But the Mandalorian's also coming out, right?
When is that? When is the new season?
March 1st.
March 1st. So what? We're literally like a week away.
Sorry for missing the last conversation.
It's all right. We went all into the spoilers of everything. No, I'm joking. No. Okay, so
I think we're actually really good at not spoiling.
No, I thought we were really good, especially that like awkward 20 seconds where we were trying to work out if we were talking about the same moment. Okay, Tim, what are your expectations of The Mandalorian season 3?
Well, I just read that they're writing season 4 to work into the Ahsoka series. So my guess is they're probably going to wrap up some of the Mandalore like political arc of the dark saber and all that stuff. I'm hoping for some decent battles. I'm worried about it being like Book of Boba Fettish, where it's like a shootout at the OK Corral, but you've got like
no fighting.
Has everyone here, like, it's a year old now, but has everyone here seen like Mandalorian season 1 and 2 and the Book of Boba Fett?
I never finished season 1.
Oh, you never finished season 1?
It's past the time where I like go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, well, we can do a non-spoiler. So you know that thing with a bit happens, and then that character turns up. No.
Yeah.
Right. What was the deal with, like, because we probably spoke about this months ago, but what was the deal with, like, did they panic halfway through the Book of Boba Fett and suddenly were like, oh, get Mandalorian here quick, with like this is dying on us?
Yeah.
What happened? Because there was like 3 episodes where it just focused on the Mandalorian and Boba Fett wasn't in it.
Like, I said the whole series never focused on Boba Fett because, like, for some reason they didn't write the character that well. It became an interesting thing. The other characters surrounding him became more interesting than him.
Well, but like, here's the thing.
Start.
And so one of the things that people on the internet that I'm seeing saying about Ant-Man is they're saying like, oh, Ant-Man, like, because again, this is no real spoiler. The new Ant-Man film does a lot to establish Kang. And they're like, well, Ant-Man isn't that important to his own film. And there's a few times where they've said that. But I've never seen it so much as the Book of Boba Fett, which literally had whole episodes without any Boba Fett in it at all. And it was suddenly just like, here's the Mandalorian, here's Grogu, here's like Luke Skywalker. Say what?
It's like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
I know. Why do they keep doing this? They're like, they call the show something. This is the Book of Boba Fett, starring the Mandalorian.
I don't think it's a bad idea though, because like look at Last of Us with like the mini stories that people are starting to build into seasons. Sometimes following one character the whole season, it can be kind of boring. I like the Mandalorian's entry into Book of Boba Fett because it did make it more interesting. Let's be honest. Like,
do you know
I really enjoyed
Tim, you've completely changed my mind on that. I agree. Go ahead.
Because like The Last of Us, I think that the relationship between the two dudes,
Frank, yeah.
Like that was a decent story in of itself, where it's like, oh wow, and that they're able to make they're able to make it decent enough where it's like, wow, this grabs my attention. And also the casting that they had for Bill, how that his just experience and background also transcends some political spectrums in a way with how he is viewed as a person. So I think that the writing in stories into a season adds a little bit of extra spice to it, so it's not just like cheese pizza. Maybe
the task for that episode that destroyed everyone was like, Joel get truck, and then they had this beautiful love story. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I think most of the times they would establish what the story's about and the main character's about. Then they would start making these fun things, like they will introduce these fun ideas, and they're like, let's see if this becomes popular. And if it's appreciated, they're like, okay, we'll bolt that more into the story because people seem to like it. But that's not the trope that currently people are doing. Is because like that, I think that is the best way to establish like good stories within the story, and you can see how the fans react to it, and then you can build up more on it. But if you have, like, again, going back to The Witcher, if you have the show named The Witcher, then you have to freaking focus on The Witcher for at least.
Well, but yeah, well, hang on, but like, look, we've just debunked that because in The Last of Us they don't have a single character called The Last of Us. Now, no, I take your point, but what Tim specifically brought to my mind, and I think if people know any Doctor Who episode at all, you'll know the one with the weeping angels. Do you know, Tim, Jana, do you know Doctor Who at all?
I know I've seen the Shakespeare episode of Doctor Who.
Right, okay. So here's okay.
I've never watched Doctor Who.
It's just so intimidating.
It shouldn't be intimidating, right? Let me indulge me for like the next 30 seconds. I'll tell you where to go into Doctor Who and then what to do next. With Doctor Who, it ran for like 25 years. And it got cancelled, and they brought it back literally 15 years later. They knew that, old fans would watch it, are going to be so much older, so they had to almost make it a reboot. So it had the backstory of everything that had gone before, but when they started it again in 2005, it had it was like people said this is Doctor Who, but it's basically like the vibe of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it's super easy to get into to begin with. But as it went on, like they were like, oh wow, people love the history and the lore of everything, and so they do start to lay it on. But if you start with Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, so like the 2005 series is fairly easy to get into, and there's been about like 10 seasons now, but each season is only about 10 episodes, so it's easy to catch up. However, all that said, the thing which I'm referring to here when we say about just like a random story episode, in the 3rd season of Doctor Who, like the new version, they had an episode which they do this occasionally called a Doctor Light episode, where it's a story where the Doctor almost doesn't appear at all. And there's about an enemy called the Weeping Angels, and they appear like stone statues when you look at them. When you don't look at them, they can move. And the Doctor is barely in it, so you don't need to know anything about the Doctor's history to be able to enjoy it. And it is truly the best episode of Doctor Who, and the Doctor isn't in it. So there you go.
That was the first Doctor Who episode that I saw, because like I heard from like that's the best horror TV episode that you can ever watch. So I
agree.
Okay, I'm trying to go into Doctor Who, so let me watch that, and I watched that. And I tried to get into the Doctor Who, but I couldn't. So that was a failure for me. So
but you know what? Like as a standalone episode, it's really good. It's really good. But then you probably do need to go back to like the 2005 series and watch it there to get the context of everything else.
But again, David, for that it had season 1, season 2, and then even season 3, where it's mostly about the Doctor Who, and you get like some episodes where they're like trying to explore different stories. Again, if you have a main character story, I'm sorry, if you're writing a show about the main character, you're going to have to focus on him a little bit and make it interesting.
Well, okay.
So that we can,
Like, so what you're saying is in The Witcher, they never focus on The Witcher.
They kind of did on season 1.
Cap, then they did.
Kinda, but not. I mean, if you look at the screen time with the other characters than him, it's not that much, and it's weird. It's like the whole book is mostly about the character. But again, as it goes on, it will start building other things as well. I'm not complaining about season 1. I was fairly happy with season 1. So even though it's not that very close to the books, but they throw enough hints. With the Doctor Who and the Book of Boba Fett, there's a difference. The season 1, they're starting about Boba Fett. Okay, from episode 1, I don't give a shit about this character. I like the
But do you know what? One of the interesting things, and again, this is we'll get off Doctor Who in a second because like Tim and Jana are just like dying hearing about this thing they know nothing about and don't care about.
I mean, I know it.
No, I'm joking. Right.
Screwdrivers and stuff.
But here's the thing: like when you watch Doctor Who, the Doctor always has a companion. The role of the companion is to be a proxy for the audience because he's an alien, and so they'll be like, "Hey, who are you? How do these things work?" And then the Doctor can explain to them, and so therefore explain to the audience. So much of Doctor Who shows that like the companions are like a heroic figures in that, and the Doctor often takes a back seat. So it shares it out. It shares it out.
It kind of, that's what they did with Ahsoka in Clone Wars, because she was the student to Anakin Skywalker, and basically that's how they introduced her. Again, a lot of people were not aware. I'm a 2000s kid, so I didn't actually technically know a lot about Star Wars. I've seen the original for some times, but the thing is that I didn't really care about Star Wars. Never saw the prequels, but thank God. I never saw it. And then I saw the Clone Wars, and it actually captured me a lot. That's why I got into Star Wars later. But then I saw the prequels, and I went, God, thank God I didn't see that one, and I just saw the cartoons.
Okay, cool. Anyone got anything else they want to react to that they have seen within the last few days, or trailers for new things, or stuff like this? Because if not, we'll go on to a quick fire game. Jana?
I wanted to take back everything I said last week about Indiana Jones because I didn't realize Phoebe Waller-Bridge was in it, and I will watch her in anything. That's
okay.
I was saying.
Okay, so Jana, did you check out the trailer?
They played it before Ant-Man, so I caught up on the trailer and the Guardians trailer.
Did you like the look of the trailer?
I mean, I thought that it was neat, and like I geek out about production stuff, and like they used a bunch of old footage of. They
didn't.
Well, they like went through old stuff.
It's like, yeah, it's all this AI stuff. Like, I'm not actually here now. This stuff is getting scarily real, But
it's like sourced from old footage that.
Yeah.
Like they own.
It's what. Well, again, if you didn't see
they don't need actors anymore.
No, I know. But they did this on Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Spoilers: they bring back Luke Skywalker, and when they first bring him back, he kind of look. Everyone was like, "Wow, how did they do that?" Kind of looks fake, but it's still cool. And then a year later, it's like they time traveled. It's got that much more advanced. So however they've done Harrison Ford, it's getting scarily real.
All acting's gonna be in the pajamas with the little dots.
Yeah.
From home.
Yeah, I love it. I was in a bookshop the other day, and he'd got a book on how to do mocap performance, and I was like, well, I may need to retrain in this stuff. It was so annoying. I'll share this story. About 5 years ago, I got signed up to an agency to learn this, and then they went bust before I got my first gig with them. So I was so annoyed, but it is the future. Tim, you were going to share with us something.
Saw the Creed 3 trailer. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the first two Creeds, and I don't think I actually fully paid attention to a Rocky movie, but I should probably start being better about it.
Wait. You're going to start with like the 9th movie in the series.
I'll probably start with Rocky, the first Rocky, and then watch the whole thing in one sitting, so that way I can.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to go through.
Do you not like them, Cap?
No, I like Rocky a lot, but it's like watching them in one sitting. It's hard.
Just the movie in one sitting, not the whole thing. I'm not.
Yeah, that's good. Then that's good. I've actually sat up on because like I saw Rocky, the old one, like the final one where it's like fighting a young boxer and he's old. That's the first Rocky movie I saw, and then I went back
Balboa?
To the other movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I like the one where he's talking to his kids like, life hits back, you gotta hit back harder.
That one.
Yeah.
Gazebo.
It's about taking a hit and moving forward. Yeah, that one.
Taking a hit, it's about moving forward. Philadelphia,
Exactly that, yeah.
I love Rocky, so the first one again, it was shot on a very short budget. So it, I mean, like again, an interesting fact about it is that the actor who played Apollo Creed and Sylvester Stallone actually started hitting each other when they were filming the fight scenes. There was a lot of times where they had to actually pull each other apart in the scenes. But the thing is that Stallone, when he looked at it, it felt so good that he was like, okay, I'm going to put this in the film. And a lot of the action things kind of came up with that. But the thing is that I can't actually digest all of those movies at once. It's not a good marathon movie because the one is kind of slow, and the second one kind of builds the speed, but it's also slow. I think like after the third one is where they start to build up the tension, the action stuff a bit more.
Well, like the third one has Mr. T in it, and Hulk Hogan, and the fourth one has Dolph Lundgren. And Dolph Lundgren, right? I don't know where he's from in the world. He's like Dutch or something, but he's playing like the evil Russian. And probably, look, I'll say this, and all of a sudden YouTube's going to be flagging me because they think I'm speaking about world politics. But literally, he wasn't Russian, and so in the film, the whole film. Sorry, this is a spoiler for a 40-year-old film. But he literally has one line, and he just goes, "If they die, they die," or "If he dies, he dies." And literally, that's the only thing you hear him say in the whole film. But if you watch Creed 2, Dolph Lundgren's in it again. You know, so what a ledge.
The interesting thing about him is actually has a bachelor's in chemistry. I think he's like one of the smartest actors in Hollywood.
I thought you were going to say he's one of the smartest people in the world, Dolph Lundgren.
No, I can't say that. But he's very innocent, nerdy, because he has a bachelor's in chemistry. I think Nerdist did an interview with them because of science guys, like asking science questions, but giving them answers to. So the interesting thing about Creed 3 is that it's the one film that Stallone is not part of. Even though it's his franchise, I think like they had different direction. I think one of the problems is the producing problem that they had because like Stallone also most of the films he did. The first Creed was done by the guy who also wrote Black Panther, and that was really good. And the second one is that Stallone and him couldn't, because like Stallone wants to more focus on the legacy, but then the character's like, no, we should do a different thing. But so they split it off, and he went and did Black Panther. But again, Creed 2 was still good. About Creed 3 though, it's kind of hard for me to watch it without Sylvester Stallone, which I would say is going to be a problem for me because like I liked. Like he finally became a father figure to Apollo Creed's son, which was Apollo was kind of like that for him, like a big brother to him when he was in Part 3. And it's kind of hard to not to see that because like you don't have this character in his corner. So it's gonna be an interesting watch for me. I'm not even sure. Probably won't get that much interest in it.
But like, you do such a good Stallone impression. You could just add in Stallone's voice along the way. Just as you're watching it, it's like, you gotta hit harder! What are you doing? Okay, good. Excellent. Now, we'll see. And look, Jonathan Majors, like you mentioned, is in that too. So, we'll see, like, how he does that. Okay, we're gonna...
He actually was in the Lovecraft, what was that called? I forgot the name of the...
Lovecraft County or Country?
Yeah, that one.
So he was.
Yeah, so again, the series was not that, writing was not that really terribly good, but I think he was good in it. I think most of the actors in it did a fair bit of good jobs. They had some fun episodes. There was one episode where I liked was like the horror episode where the kid with like a dancing demon thing and everything. That was really scary. So I would say that's some good episodes in it, but overall this season wasn't good, and I don't think that they're doing a season 2. But as a main character, I liked him. And they also saying, like, Jana and you guys said, like, he does very good as a villain. I didn't feel that in Loki, but if you guys say he's good in this one, and I would be happy with that. Because in Loki, I'm not feeling that he's going to be the big bad Thanos, but he's actually saying that he's not. The other versions are the ones, so...
Well, in Loki, I think his character said he tried to be the primary Kang because the other Kangs were even worse.
He was a mellow Kang.
Yeah.
It was still like he had that like chaotic, like could explode at any moment energy. Like I liked.
Which was the weird thing because like in the cartoons, Kang is basically, I think he was voiced by the guy who also voiced Wolverine in the X-Men. He was fairly a bit serious. You didn't mostly see him joking around, and he basically became a villain for Iron Man. So he's a scientist from the future, and he's a scientist now, so it became a battle of wits. And Iron Man is the one who's like cracking jokes and making him upset. It's an interesting turnaround. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it, because I'm guessing the hero is not going to be that comedic with him. I think he's going to have to pull the weight of doing the comedic stuff when he's battling the heroes, I think.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's move on. Now, let's do a guessing game where you'll have a minute, right? Just because otherwise we may start. We've got a little while, but there is something else I'll put to you after this. So, Cap, you can go first. Would you like to try to guess a film, a TV show, or like a character or book or video game? What would you like to guess?
Film.
Film, okay. So, you're never going to get that. Right, let's go for something else.
No.
Oh my god, okay, good. So, I clicked it 3 times. I promise you I'm giving you what was the third option. You have 1 minute to ask me as many questions as you can. I can only answer yes or no. I may occasionally give slight other bits of information if I think it'll be necessary. But here you go.
Is it a cartoon?
No.
Did it come out in the 80s?
No.
90s?
No.
2000s?
No.
After 2010?
Yes.
Is it a superhero movie?
No.
Is it a fantasy movie?
No.
Is it a sci-fi film?
No.
Oh no, we ran out of categories. Is it a comedy?
No.
Is it a drama?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh shit. This is why you need to watch dramatic films. Does it have any famous person in it?
Yes.
Is this famous person in a superhero movie?
Yes.
Ever did a superhero?
Yes.
Is it in the MCU?
Yes.
Is he in the Avengers?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like the original Avengers, the Infinity War guys.
No. Right. Okay, I'm just going to clarify. What do you mean, is he in the Avengers?
I mean, is he an Avenger, like in the MCU, like Thor, Captain America, or Iron
Is he
Man?
one of the team of the Avengers, are you asking?
Yeah.
No. Right, okay, but that is time, Cap. That is time. Okay, Jana, we're going to hand it over to you, and here you go.
It's a dramatic movie,
Yes.
and it stars an actor who was in the Avengers franchise, but not played an Avenger.
Yes.
Did he play a villain?
Yes.
Is there more than one MCU person in this movie?
Yes.
Does one of them die in the movie?
In this movie, no.
Is Tom Hiddleston in it?
No.
Is it an American movie?
Yes.
Is there action?
Yes.
I have no idea. Is there a love story?
I think so, yeah. That is time, though, I'm afraid. So, Tim, it is down to you. Take it away.
Is it The Town with Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner?
It's not, no.
Oh, shucks. Because he does play a bad guy in it. Does the movie take place is the setting of the movie take place in modern times?
Yes.
Does it take place in a city, or does it take place in a city?
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't take place in a country at all?
No.
Okay. Is the lead protagonist male or is the lead protagonist male?
Male.
Is there a team that helps the protagonist?
Only very loosely, not especially.
Is the main theme of the movie drama?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there more?
You'll understand when you know what it is.
Are there any MCU actors in the movie that are good guys?
Well, I'm going to clarify this question again. Okay, so are the actors good guys in the MCU or in this?
Are they good? Are any of the actors that are in the MCU in this movie, are they good guys?
In this movie?
Yes.
Yes, they are. But that is time, guys. Oh, go on. Do you have a guess? Tim?
I don't.
Okay.
The town was good.
I'm going to give you collectively one more minute, because there's only 3 of you today. One more minute to see if you can get this film. Any of you can throw in any questions whenever you like. Go.
There's so many actors in the MCU movies.
That's true.
They gobbled them all.
Are we in phase 1 of MCU?
No, they're not in phase 1 of the MCU.
Are they in phase 2?
No, I don't think so, actually.
Are they
Phase 4?
No, not phase 4.
What was phase 3?
Phase 3. Phase 3.
What's in phase 3?
Yeah.
So that's Infinity War times?
Yeah.
Infinity War, Endgame, and that was the phase 3?
No.
Is it Scarlet Witch or whatever?
It's not Scarlet
Is that
Witch.
action? It's like a drama with someone from the MCU in it. Like, it's so wide.
Is it drama/action?
Yeah, that's closer.
Is it Creed?
What?
A Rocky?
Creed 2?
It's Creed 2! Cap, you get the point. It is Creed 2. Well done.
Holy cow.
Yeah, well done.
Michael B. Jordan and also the new guy right now is both villains.
Oh, who's the new guy right now?
From the Ant-Man.
No, yeah, Jonathan Majors. But no, I couldn't even tell you if he was in Creed 2. But Sylvester Stallone is in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, so how about that? For that to come up just after we'd literally been speaking about it. Okay,
Wow.
Jana, what would you like to guess?
What are the options again?
A fictional character. You could even have a real person if you want. And then I'd make sure it's related, someone geeky, an actor or something. A video game, a TV show, a movie, or a book.
Let's do TV show.
Phew, I was worried you were going to say a book. Right, okay. Ooh, I might go for that. Okay, let's... I don't know if I can answer enough on it. No, I'm going to get something else. Right. Okay, I'm going to go for the one which I don't think I can answer enough on. But we'll see what I can do. Okay, so Jana, your time starts now.
Is it a superhero show?
It's not.
Is it a fantasy show?
It's not.
Is it a sci-fi show?
No.
What's the name of this thing we're on right now? What?
Oh, Geek Battle. Okay, look, it's a sitcom. It's a sitcom.
Is this a sitcom? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it ensemble?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Is it from the 2000s?
No.
Is it from the 90s?
May have been on still in the 90s.
Is it from the 80s?
Yes.
And 90s?
Yeah, 80s to 90s.
Is it set in a bar?
No.
Is it hijinks? I don't know.
Nope.
Is it American?
Yes.
I don't know stuff about the 80s. Like Degrassi Junior High.
Okay, that is time. That is time. Okay, let's have a look.
I only know John Hughes films.
I said I'd go for this because otherwise I'd just always shy away from things that I don't know that well. But Tim, over to you. Go.
All right, I'm hopefully able to help with this, but I'm only 84. So, does it take place in a house?
Yes.
Was the father a cop?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Is the actor are any of the actors in this show currently acting in any other sitcoms?
I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I would guess maybe.
Okay. So it's not Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I don't know. I can't promise that.
But you don't know if it's Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Oh no, it's not Star Trek. No, this is a sitcom.
Okay, all right. No, I was
Okay.
Where's Jimmy Mac when you need one?
Light joke. We need someone. Where's Marty? Marty, you're about 19 years of more experience than. Sorry, Marty. I don't.
Oh, that is time. I'm afraid I lost track of things there. Right. Okay, Cap. Somehow this is down to you now. Go.
He's got it.
Is it Seinfeld?
It's not Seinfeld.
Is it Fresh Prince?
No.
Okay, that's about the sitcoms I know. Is it Friends?
It's not Friends.
What sitcoms are in the 80s? Is it slightly geeky? Is it has to do with nerd stuff?
I don't think so.
Or is just...
He's so young.
Is it the Golden Girls?
No, it's not the Golden Girls. This is good though, just to see what you can come up with.
80s. It's even a decade before I was born. 2 decades. Seinfeld. Does it have the actor who was? Did you see the show called The Good Place?
No.
Okay, then you probably don't know the actor. I don't know the actor's name. Is it Frasier? Is it Frasier?
It's not Frasier, but that is yeah. Right. Okay.
Is this
now,
is this sitcom animated?
it's not. I don't know if it's worth giving the extra minute, but I will.
Give me extra minute.
I'll give the extra minute, but I will give you a clue. Tim, in particular, asked a question which so came close to hitting the nail on the head. Okay? Tim asked a question which asked me something, and my eyes lit up. I don't know if anyone was looking, which was...
Where's Marty?
Marty! Right, okay.
Marty!
Okay.
Someone hit the rewind
Great
button on
Scott!
Tim.
Okay, ready?
Was it?
Go.
Is it a family sitcom?
Yes.
Is it Roseanne?
No. It's not Roseanne.
Is it Married with Children?
No.
Wasn't there a high school one? What was it called?
It doesn't matter. It's not that.
Is the father a cop?
No. I don't know. It might be. I don't...
Family Matters?
No. It's not Family Matters. I don't know about the cop thing.
Does it have the Olsen sisters in it?
Yes, it does!
Oh, Full House!
Yes, it is! There you go.
That's Pat's point.
Well, I'm gonna let you share the
I
point.
would say I don't know the name of that source, so you probably...
Wow, how did you get that it was going to have the Olsen sisters in?
I've seen that they appear in a sitcom. I started so.
Yeah, it was Full House. How about that? Okay.
From a 2023 perspective, I feel like Bob Saget was like back in the day, like very wholesome and stuff. And then I just think of like if Bob Saget were Bob Saget the way he is now, he'd be more like Norm Macdonald. I don't know. Like I feel like they're two separate. Like I don't know. I got nothing.
His stand-up.
Isn't
is,
Bob
like,
Saget
not
dead
at all
now though?
I think Bob Saget has also passed away, but
Yeah.
like the two of them have like I don't know, maybe a similar shtick.
I mean, like Will Smith is now different, so.
Yeah, but Will Smith.
I'm gonna stop right there.
Okay, but
I'm
Will
sure my
Smith,
brain
right? We can all forgive anything that happened, just because he's doing I Am Legend 2. So how about that? Did you not hear this?
I mean, I would like another Men in Black movie, because the Chris Hemsworth one sucks. I don't like the Chris Hemsworth one. Sorry, Thor, you suck in it.
Well, this goes back to my theory. Other than playing Thor, has Chris Hemsworth ever done a good film?
Wasn't he
in Cabin in the Woods before he was Thor?
Oh yeah, maybe. Okay.
Extra key.
I don't know. I still stand by the fact that other than playing Thor, you can't do anything.
He also did a movie with the guy who played Abraham Lincoln in the Vampire Hunter movie. It's Moby Dick. You ever seen Moby Dick?
I think he's a good actor. Just like he's started Shakespearean and ended like a fool.
You can do Shakespeare?
No, like Thor.
That was like the aim of the Kenneth Branagh first Thor movies. Was like,
True.
Yeah.
So it's got range.
And then they ended up having from it being like Hamlet, they then ended up with a character that was just a pair of feet with a face in Thor, and it's like how things have changed. It's like I was having this conversation yesterday. To bring it back to MODOK, but now obviously MODOK. Look, and once again, like we said about She-Hulk bursting through the screen and stuff, is that these things happen in the comics, but sometimes go on, Jana.
No, well, I was always working when She-Hulk was happening, so I loved She-Hulk. It was great.
I didn't mind it. I cannot forgive the breaking the fourth wall and going and speaking to the writers, because speaking to the camera is one thing, but then it just showed the writers, and then it's like, well, Thanos didn't really kill Iron Man in the battle. The writers did. I don't want that illusion broken. But
that's like, and the robot Kevin. It was just and it was.
That was the one thing that I couldn't forgive it for. Like, because even with Deadpool, it's like, and we've said about this before, like, because when you watch Logan and then you see Deadpool, it's clearly that Deadpool is not in the same canon as Logan. So
now I think Deadpool did a balanced thing, because like Deadpool would break the fourth wall, but the things that happen in his universe are really played it dramatically, I think. But
it was just that Deadpool was clearly its own thing. So you didn't have Patrick Stewart pop up in Deadpool, and then he's in Logan saying, "Well, when I spoke to Deadpool and he spoke to the camera," it's like they just kept it its own thing.
The new movie. Well, then let's see what they do with the new movie.
I liked the Daredevil candy and She-Hulk. It was
the
great.
Daredevil what?
He was just like a candy character in She-Hulk, and it was fine because it's Ally McBeal but green.
Yeah, absolutely.
My problem with the She-Hulk, this is the only one thing, but I didn't let you know about the character, was not that much interested either. Like, the one thing that I didn't forgive is the Hulk is like, oh, I have nothing bad that happened in my life. I'm so cheery now. That talk broke the show. You can't talk to the Hulk like that. That's one of the most abused characters in the MCU. You have to give some sympathy to that guy.
I want to know where the Hulk got a son from. But anyway. From space. He ordered it. Yeah. Okay, so hang on. Before we get to look, the last thing I'll say on She-Hulk is that when the trailer came out and everyone was like, "Oh, the animation isn't that good," I think like Kevin Feige was like, got all of his animators. It's like, quick, we need to work on She-Hulk. It's out in 2 weeks' time. And then as soon as they were done with it, they were like, "What are we doing about MODOK?" And they were like, "Oh, just leave it. We give up." You know.
I think MODOK was perfect.
Well, that's cool. Like, to me, it was like so. But like the thing is, when I looked at it, I was just like, how did they pass this? Because like when you even She-Hulk, when you see that and people said it wasn't as good, it was 1,000,000 times better than like MODOK. Literally, just looked like they filmed the guy and stretched his face.
But I think it was supposed to be like Uncanny Valley-ish and.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
It certainly was.
I think for She-Hulk, they could have actually hired a female bodybuilder. Basically,
yeah, they did.
They did.
They had a mix of the body doubles and all the stuff. It's cool.
Then I would say basically just put her in paint and just do the thing.
Well, no, look, if they're going to do that, I think they should bring back. No, then here's the thing. I was always in favour of them just still using Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. You know, I still think that was the best version. Anyway, we're going to move on. So, Tim, it is your turn. What would you like to guess?
Let's do a film.
Okay. Oh, I don't think you'll get that. Okay, good. Okay, I've got a film. Right. Well, be honest, would have you got Nativity? Do you know the film Nativity? Does anyone here know the film Nativity?
No.
Oh, man, it's so good. It's a mostly improvised film. That's the coolest thing about it. It stars Martin Freeman, who was Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbits. And it's him playing a school teacher in England, and they're going to put on a nativity play. That's the premise of it. Like, you know, so like the story of Jesus, and like I don't know if you do this in other countries in America, but every year, like schools in England will do the nativity play, and that's the premise of this. But most of the cast are children, and they're completely unscripted. Like maybe they said, "Oh, can you go and say this because we need to for the story?" But they just come out with random stuff. And when you first watch it, you're like, "Who wrote this? This script is weird." But when you find out that it's actually completely improvised and the adults are just bouncing off of whatever the children say, it's a great film. Anyway, so it's not that film, unfortunately. That's not what you're guessing. Tim, you have 1 minute to try to figure this out. Go.
Okay, is the movie improvised?
No.
Is the movie from the 70s?
No.
Is the movie from the 80s?
No.
90s?
Yes.
90s. Is it a buddy cop film?
No.
Is it a drama?
No.
Sci-fi?
No.
Fantasy?
No.
Action?
Yes.
Is it a team?
No.
It's a single person?
No.
It's a duo?
Kind of, yeah.
Is it Die Hard 2?
No, it's not.
Okay. Does the actor play in any MCU movies?
Oh, no, they don't. They don't.
Okay. So I'm such a nerd with that stuff. Has the actor starred in any Star Wars movies?
No, I don't. I'm not, unless there's some random cameo that someone can tell me some weird factoid about. But no. Cap, over to you. Go.
Oh, Jesus. Does it have Arnold in it?
No.
Sylvester Stallone?
No.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No.
I'm ready. Steven Seagal?
No.
Russell Crowe?
No.
Okay, I'm out of action stars now.
Russell Crowe, an action star?
I'm out of action stars.
Clearly.
Glad you.
Well, the movie came out in the late 80s? Late 90s?
No. Mid. I'm just going to help you. Mid.
Mid-90s, okay. Mid-90s, is the villain gangsters? Are the villains gangsters?
No.
Are the villains terrorists?
Yes.
I don't know where to go with that, but just it's good to clarify the villain. Does it have a very famous action star in the leading role?
Yes.
Is it a male?
Yes.
It's a male, famous action star. Is it Lethal Weapon?
It's not, and that is time. Jana, handing over to you. Go.
Is it a superhero action
It's not.
film?
No, it's not a superhero action film.
It's Speed for You.
Is it Speed?
It is Speed. Yes, it is Speed. Well done.
Yahoo!
Awesome
Nice
stuff.
job.
Good job.
Yahoo!
Keanu Reeves. Yep.
Just cans.
Yeah.
This is a shot in the dark.
No, that was a good shot in the dark as well. 1994, I believe. So.
How did I forget Keanu?
Dennis
know.
Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah. What a villain.
Greatest bad guy ever.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Space Truckers, though. Space Truckers. What a protagonist.
I've not seen that.
Oh, it is. See, when I say I should have seen Rocky instead of Space Truckers, I believe that. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like Dennis Hopper, wasn't he the bad guy in Waterworld as well?
Yes. Sorry, D-Hop, about that Space Truckers comment.
Yeah. But like, yeah, Waterworld, what a film. Now.
Yeah. Oh man. What?
Doesn't it have the guy who played Superman's dad?
Oh my. Oh, for God's sakes, Cap! How young are you? You're like, there's Kevin Costner. It's like,
1997.
he's the guy that played Superman's dad. It's like, God, I'm so old. Okay, genuine question. Jana, Tim, what's the first film you think of when you think of Superman's dad? No, when you think of Kevin Costner.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah, good answer. Jana, do you have an answer?
I don't have an answer. I panicked. I can't remember any movies now.
Okay, I'd say The Bodyguard, right? Come on. The Bodyguard. Yeah, what a film.
You can be my bodyguard.
Although
I'm not sure if that's the famous song from that film.
It's not. But when you say Bodyguard, that's the song I remember.
Really? You don't think like Whitney Houston?
It's great.
Wow.
You should probably listen to some more Whitney Houston because it's good music, but it was never my thing. Even though, yeah.
Is there a movie where he's playing baseball?
Who, Whitney Houston?
No, Kevin Costner.
Oh, Kevin Costner.
Okay, that might be it. Or is there one where he invented wipers, or is that somebody else?
Invented wipers?
I don't know.
Man's dad invented wipers. Wow.
No, I don't know. I might be confusing things.
Who knows?
So, also, guys, I want to actually talk about Superman for a bit. There was actually, James Gunn's currently plan is to make the actors who do movies and also the animation the same people. There was a movie that came out called Superman, The Man of Tomorrow, which is the next animated reboot to the New 53 animation. And the thing is that the actors who played Superman and also Lois Lane are pretty much young, and I feel like they're also big on-screen actors. I'm not sure about the guy who did voice Superman, but the girl who did voice Lois Lane is the girl from the movie, what's that Rocks film? You know that Rocks film about earthquakes, San Andreas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his daughter, the one who plays her daughter.
Oh, I can't remember.
Famous. She was also in Baywatch.
Baywatch? How old is she?
The new.
Oh, the new Baywatch. That's going to be like, she plays The Rock's daughter, and she's also 63 years old. Right. Okay, good. Anyway, we're going to have to begin to wrap things up there. But if you guys have any recommendations as we go on to our outros round, so tell the people where they can find you, and if you have any recommendations of things people should see, look out for, play, whatever you want. Tim, where can the people find you?
My recommendation is check out the trailer for Tetris with Taron Egerton. He's turning out to be a very prolific actor, and I love the characters he chooses. It's always fun to see an actor develop their sort of resume, and this looks like a really interesting movie. I think it's on Apple, though, so I don't know if I can watch it, but the trailer looks good.
Okay, cool. Okay, so very quick question for you. Erin says Kevin Costner has done 3 baseball movies. What are the 3 baseball movies? Erin, if you can answer, all the better.
I remember one where he's like going through his whole life and he's about to retire and shoot like a...
Wow.
Is it The Natural or something? Was it maybe Robert?
Here's a weird thing. What's it called? This is unrelated, but it's a similar weird thing that I noticed just this week. There's a Bruce Willis film called Surrogates, where it's basically like Avatar, but not. It's very different than Avatar, but it's where you have like robots that you're like asleep and the robots go and do things for you. And the creator of these robots is the actor James Cromwell, who played the creator of the robots in iRobot with Will Smith. And it's like, how do you get typecast as the old man that creates robots? That was super weird to me.
The actors, so for the God of War games, they hired actors who played mythological characters. The guy who played Zeus in God of War games is the guy who voiced Zeus in the Disney Hercules.
Ah, well, okay.
Very different voice performance. He's the cheery dad in the Disney, but then here is like...
Yeah. Okay, so one other thing I'll just say, I've got an answer here. Apparently, Erin comes through and says Bull Durham.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Field of Dreams and For the Love of the Game are the 3 baseball films.
Actually, a trilogy.
Yeah, the trilogy. Okay, on that note, Jana, where can the people find you?
I just follow me on Instagram at JANALIZG, and sometimes I post shows there. If anyone is watching this in St. John's, Newfoundland, I have a show on Saturday.
Ooh.
Where you can come and play. It's the Jam, and I play music to inspire scenes at Aaron's Pub.
Cool. Okay, Cap, where can the people... Oh, sorry, did we have recommendations, Jana? And I can't remember if you said one, Tim.
Oh, I just think everyone should watch The Last of Us over and over again.
Okay, awesome. Tim, did you have a recommendation? I forget.
For the trailer, but follow me on Instagram. I'm hosting a fundraiser for a bingo night in Boston. If you guys want to come, there's gonna be comedians, free prizes. Well, not free prizes. You gotta buy a play bingo.
Yeah.
Fundraising for the Mutant Firefighters Children's Fund. We support families of fallen firefighters in the Massachusetts area. So come on down.
Okay.
You can check it down. This handle right here. Yeah, right there.
See, and this is one of the other benefits about StreamYard is when we have this on screen, it's actually visible, whereas like on Zoom, it's so small. Cap.
Yeah, but I have my background, David.
You've got the exact same background now.
Yeah, but I can't show SWAT leads.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cap. There might be a way where you can add it. I don't know.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. You can find me on SWAT leads where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And recently, I made a weird death battle where I did Penguins of Madagascar going up against Superman, and I also kind of thrown in Multiverse of Madness in there. It's absurd, but it's funny. It's all about the Facebook debate I started having on one of those Marvel pages, and it turned out to be a good video, so go check that out. My recommendation is that if you're actually trying to get into the Warhammer universe, it's a lot of big lore. I started with playing the Total War 2, I think. That was where I started with the Warhammer, but I kind of fell off of it, but now I'm mostly into co-op. But like, the good way to actually get into Warhammer, if you find it like it or not, is to watch the series called Hammer and Bolter. Warhammer, Hammer and Bolter. It's a 2D anime series, different stories that happens in the Warhammer world, and it's really good, so go check it out.
Okay, fabulous. My name is David Pstansky. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pstansky, which is spelled exactly as you see there. I also have books, which I forgot to have handy. But go buy some Geek Battle merch. It exists. The other thing I'll say is check out my 49-minute video where I discuss everything from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So it's like you're watching the film Ant-Man and the Wasp without seeing Paul Rudd, and it lasts half as long. But instead you just see me. Come on, guys. Who wouldn't want that? Now, and on that note, from me, from everyone else, stay safe, always stay extremed, live long and prosper, and may the Force be with you.